Okay, Baruch Hashem, welcome to our beautiful Likutei Halachos share with the beautiful Chevra that we have here. Breslov, Efrat, and Shirat, Dovid, Sukkah this time. Wow, Baruch Hashem. I just wanted to mention one thing, that if we saw the Haftorah that we had on the first day of Sukkot, how some of us may have been wondering why we were learning about the Pesach, when they were Sukkot. So I showed David yesterday and Shach. I showed them that we read the pasuk from Zechariah in Perik Yud in pasuk Yud Daled, V'haya le'eis erev yiyar, right? So it's amazing how our learning is always connected. We always connect our Tanya shir with David together with our Likutei Halachos, and we see that even in the Haftorah from the day was mamish connected to what we were learning. So anyway, today let's see we're in Hilchos and Tilas Yadayim Shachris Beis, and today we're up to letter Yud. Today we're up to letter Yud 10, right? Like the Esses Spheres, right? So we're up to letter 10. Okay, everyone ready? Everyone have the place? Bechinas Milui Halavana. That's an idea of Milui Halavana. Right, because we're talking about this whole idea about Laila, and the Laila is considered Golas, right? And the Or Yoim is considered Geula, right? And we said, and we can keep repeating this whenever we see it. It's a beautiful sunny day today, Baruch HaShem, and we see the sun. To always remember that the sun that we're looking at is coming from the sun, but where is the sun getting its light from? From HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when you see the sunlight, you're really seeing HaKadosh Baruch Hu's light, and that's really something so beautiful to see. So it's going to be Bechinas Milui Halavana. Bechinas, this is what Yeshaya says, V'haya Or Halavana Ka'or Achama. See this? In other words, it's going to be that like it was originally. Originally, it was that the Or, the Levana and the Shemesh were the same size. And then we know that the Levana came to the Rebbeinu Shalom with the Shemesh, and he said that there can't be two kings running with one crown. How could two kings have one crown? So the Rebbeinu Shalom said, "Okay, Levana, go make yourself smaller." Unbelievable. And then Rebbeinu Shalom is always the Rebbeinu Shalom is always Kiviyachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always he's making tshuva on that also, because really the Levana he didn't say anything wrong. The Levana didn't do anything wrong, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him a good patch. So okay, but anyway, Kar Shivas Yemei Bereishis Sheyia La'asid Lavei Sheyizgala Hashkachasa Yizbarach B'Elam. Because what's going to happen is, in the end of time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Hashkachas HaShem, how everything is Hashkacha Pratis in the whole world. In the whole world, everything's Hashkacha Pratis is going to be La'asid Lavei, which means what? So that means we won't have the idea of Laila anymore. Why is it going to be that the Milui Halavana? Because at the end of time, there'll be only light. So the same way you see the sunlight and everything is bright, and you see the Rebbeinu Shalom, so too at night it'll be bright and you'll see the Rebbeinu Shalom. There won't be that idea of the Chachmas Teva, the Chachmas that they would study the stars. When do they study the stars? When the sun goes down. So we can push them away right away. There's no Chachmas Teva when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to fix the begam of the Levana. What?
There'll be light all the time.
Light all the time. Unbelievable. Because then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to nullify the deep darkness of the night. Then the Levana will be fixed from its pegam, and the Levana will have its a big light like the Shemesh. Because the whole idea of the pegam, the blemish, and the fact that the moon was made smaller, that's Cheshkas Laila, Shu Bechinas Chachmas HaTeva, like we mentioned. That's all Chachmas HaTeva, because that's where they get their kayach from at that time specifically. That's where they're grabbing onto. That's what they have their hold on. They don't have their hold when it's light. They can't see the stars. They can't see anything. There's no constellations. You can't see them during the day. You can only see them at night when the sun goes down. The whole way of the Chachmas HaTeva and the Oivdei Chachavim and all the Avdei Kachavim, all of these guys have their hold only when there's the begam levana ki yadu Allah timale levana v'yispata lachayshich. But in Mitzvah Hashem, at the end of time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will repair the levana, and he'll nullify darkness in the world ki yispata Teva, because there won't be any more Teva. Not that there won't be any more Teva. In other words, yes, there'll still be Teva, but you'll realize that the Teva is Hashem. See, now we think that there's Hashem and there's a Teva. But no, we don't understand that the Teva is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's what's going to be. She is Gala Hashgacha, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashgacha will be revealed in the world. Hashgacha is Hashem, and everyone will see that. Azai, Laila Kayoim Yoy, and then the night will illuminate just like the day. Fascinating. And it's going to be like we mentioned before from the Navi Zechariah again, and it'll be like this: that the Levana will be or Kachama, like they'll have the light, the same potency of light, like the sun has. The Levana will also have. Al came Parshas Kiddush HaChodesh, who mitzvah rishonish and itztavni Yisrael b'Mitzrayim b'shas ha'geula. So what was the first mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us as a people? It was Kiddush HaChodesh. Right, we needed Kiddush HaChodesh to do Korban Pesach, because we had to know when to take the Korban Pesach. Right, so Kiddush HaChodesh was really the first mitzvah. It's fascinating why HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us that as the first mitzvah as a people in whole. Why? Because again, this is the whole idea, to recognize Hashem. What was the whole thing of Yetzias Mitzrayim? HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed that there's no Teva. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a mockery of all the Teva. With all of the plagues that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought upon the Mitzrayim, right? All of those plagues, he made a mockery of them. So then HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, what's the first mitzvah I give you? Kiddush HaChodesh. You have to be Mekadesh the Chodesh. And we know that we are, the Jewish people are compared to the Levana, right? We're compared to the Levana. Why are we compared to the Levana? Because the same way the Levana waxes and wanes, it gets bigger and smaller. Right, and then and because it does that, and we know that a Jew has his aliyas and yeridas. Jews go up and down. That we should understand that whenever we have to understand that whenever we go, we get higher. We have to understand that we're going to come back down. Right, we have to understand these concepts. And when we're low, we have to go back up. And then so this is why HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed us the idea of the Levana and why we're compared to the Levana. And then Rav Nosson also writes something else. I'll just bring it now because maybe it'll be interesting. Why did the Chazal institute the fact that we're supposed to be Mekadesh the Chodesh when the Levana is so small, when it's a sliver, such a sliver, right? And it was such a process of being Dairish and Charik, the Edom, to make sure, not that they were false Edom, rather than did they actually see what they thought they saw. They would scrutinize the Edom so much so to make sure that the Edom saw what they saw. And the whole process, the Gemara says, they had on the mountaintops, they had guys with torches, and in Yerushalayim they would light the first torch, and the next one they would light, and then everyone would say Mekudesh, Mekudesh, and then that's how they did it. Amazing ideas, amazing. But really, Rav Nosson says, really, HaKadosh Baruch Hu could have made that the Rosh Chodesh would be when the moon is big. So everyone would see it. Everyone would see it. If that's the case, so then we wouldn't know that we have to be mechapes and the kudas tevas in ourselves when we're very small. But that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, go find it. Even though you're going to have to find it, it's so small. You're going to have to find it, even though you may have a nekuda teva that's so small. Find it. Find it and make sure you find it and use that. And through that, you'll be able to become greater again. That's Torah Reish Pei Beis. So we always try to connect the lessons what we learned in the past to where we are now. Because the whole Geula that we're waiting for, Mitzvah Hashem, the same way like Mitzrayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a mockery of Teva when Mitzvah Hashem, when Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to come, Bikarev Mamash B'Yameinu, right? Hopefully today, wow. Shehu Bittul HaTeva will have a Bittul of the Teva. V'zeh B'chinas Mini Levana, Shezeh B'chinas Kiddush HaChodesh. That's the idea of Kiddush HaChodesh. So now, let's see, we'll do Yud Aleph, okay? Yud Aleph. V'zeh B'chinas Ein Bir Chometz Ela Sreifa. So the only way when you do the bedikas chametz, right? So you don't flush it down the toilet, or you don't do anything like that. You have to burn it.
You have to burn it.
You have to burn it. It has to be burnt. Ki me'ha'esh yotzu va'esh toichlem. Because he brings the Navi Yechezkel, me'ha'esh yotzu, comes out from the fire, me'ha'esh toichlem, has to be consumed with the fire. Because the whole idea of the chametz is the chimetz halev. Right, we have the chametz in our lave that we have to get rid of the chametz halev, which is the teva and all of that stuff. We have to get rid of it. Ki hashgacha v'teva heim bechinas yoim yeah.
It came out from fire?
It came from fire, right.
It came out from fire.
The chachmas hateva, all of that stuff. You're going to see in a minute why he brought that pasuk. You'll see in a minute. Zeh bechinas ma'irei or ma'irei eish. So here's the new concept here. There's ma'irei or and there's ma'irei eish, right? So sometimes you have a fire that gives you light, right? And then you have a fire, sometimes that's eish, that's destroying, right? So there's a concept of fire can be beneficial, right? If you have fire the right way, it can give you warmth when it's cold, right? And if it's controlled, you can cook with fire. That's R. But you can have sometimes eish, which is destroying. Because the eish comes when you don't have the R. In other words, when you don't have, like you were saying in the Tanya before, the Ratzon, right? The whole idea, if you don't have the right Ratzon in you, so then the other Ratzon will come and take over. In other words, if you have to control what you're doing, so that the other side doesn't come and take it over. You have to right. You know, it's like when when you have, let's say, in land, right? So you have to have your soldiers in place to keep order. Otherwise, if not, the other ones will come in, right? Shir and Eretz Yisrael, right? If we just destroyed all of them, we wouldn't have that problem anymore. But all right, soon. Be'ezrat Hashem. Yeah. I mean, I always said like this, I always thought like this, we should make an announcement, anytime you Arab guys are going to kill one of us, we're going to go into your village, we're going to kill 100. We'll just randomly kill 100. Same way you randomly kill Jews, we'll randomly kill 100 people. We don't care.
That's what you used to do.
Yeah, that's it. And if you kill 2, we'll kill 500. Yeah. Kill 2 of us, we'll kill 5. We don't care. Watch. They'll all be petrified. They'll all kill each other out.
Sure.
Yeah, all right, but all right. Well, it'll happen. Don't worry about it. Tahayna balayla v'choshech. Ki ha'esh zeh bechinas taikef hadin. Because eish is taikef. What's the matter?
No, I'm just looking at your tefus.
What?
No, I'm just looking at the way it's printed. It's differently.
A little bit different. Okay, but it's the same thing. Because Eish is the power of the judgment, Teva, which all comes from Teva. In other words, where does din come from altogether? Din comes from because we don't realize it's all Hashgachas Hashem. That's where din comes from. So that's the Eish. Hashem is Baruch as Ha'esh b'Matzei Shabbos. And therefore, specifically, fire came about. When did the fire come about? On Motzei Shabbos. Ayidei Adam Arishan. Right? Remember that? Right? Remember that's why.
Whatever.
What?
Chanukah, whatever.
Well, Chanukah, but no, the fact that Adam Arishan found, he made the first fire. Adam Arishan made the first fire on Motzei Shabbos. He's going to say a minute. Shamar Kemai Shamar B'Sei Nuzalim Psachim Zer Remez Al Bechinas HaTeva Shenis Alei Mashgacha. And that's the idea that the Teva covers up Hashgachas Hashem. Really, Teva is Hashem, is Hashgacha. But the Teva, it has such a way, it manifests itself in such a way to cover up and conceal the Hashgachas Hashem. And people get carried away. They think it's only nature, Mother Nature. They don't realize it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu that's running that. A famous pasuk, right? It's quoted all the time that through my power and my great wisdom, I was able to make this profit. I was able to get this because I was so crafty and I understand how to study the markets and I understand it. That's why I was able to figure this out. Nonsense. Who gave the person the koyach? HaKadosh Baruch is good. The same way we said, like the sunlight, that you see it, and people, they thank the sun. Wow, the sun is so beautiful. But really, it's Hashem. So too is anything we have is only from Emeis Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made specifically that the Eish would come about through human being, through Adam Arishan. Through Adam Arishan. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't introduce the fire himself. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the fire into the world through Adam Rishon. So that's where Teva came about. Because man brought fire. Man made fire. It's amazing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had the potential of fire, but man introduced fire. Specifically introduced the fire. So that's where the Achiza of the Teva comes in, and that's where it started, from that one thing, from the fire. It started Chachmas HaTeva started.
That's the beginning of innovation.
Yeah, that was the first innovation.
But it conceals godliness in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
It can.
It does. No, because you can say, well, man created the fire. What does it do with Hashem?
Yeah,
that's what Teva says. Teva says, listen, hey, Hashem didn't make that. Oh, you want to say Hashem made the world? Fine. Okay, I believe that. They'll say, but hey, Adam made the fire.
Figured it out at least.
Shehu taikif hadin.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We say the bracha is me'orei ha'esh.
Yeah, that's specifically why we make the. We're going to see in a minute. 1 second. Shehu taikif hadin. Val came avdilin Allah b'matzei Shabbos. Your mamish, Sasha, your mamish connected. Mamish, the next line. Look at that. Kisham ikka bechinas havdalah v'abeira. That's when we make havdalah. We make the clarification. We say Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Olam Boirei Ma'orei Ha'esh. You Hashem are the Boirei Ma'orei Ha'esh, not Adam. It's you. In other words, we're specifically clarifying that. That's why it's so important to make that bracha. Because in other words, you're nipping Teva in the bud right there. And you do that right after Shabbos. Shabbos, we have the clarity of everything is Me'ein Olam Haba. Now we're going to go into the week. So when we go into the week, we need a little fortification against the Chachmas HaTeva. So Chazal instead make the bracha, Bayrei Ma'orei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you were the Bayrei Ma'orei. You were the one that created the fire.
I just thought of something. So
please, Dovid, share.
No, because like I always knew that, whatever. Some adult, whatever stage, knew that the lighting of the candle is in commemoration of the fact that Adam Arishon did it on Motzi Shabbos, right?
Right.
But now if you think about it, recreating it, we just come out from Shabbos where we do no malacha, where we're totally back in the world of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? And
what's the first thing we do?
We recreate that innovation.
Beautiful aura. Beautiful aura.
But then what we do? Lachniota.
Right. We did knock it, subdue it.
I did
subdue it. To subdue the Chachmas HaTeva, to subdue that. I'm making the fire. I recognize and I bless Hashem that He is the one that made the fire. Ki ikra achizas eitz adas tevah hu bechinas HaTeva shu bechinas eish. And there's what happened with the what happened by the famous the first sin. The Eitz Adas Teva. So what did the Nachash tell Chava? Hey, listen, you want to be a god? You could be a god too. Hashem doesn't want you to eat from this tree because He's afraid that you'll become a god and then He'll have competition. Stupid, Mom is stupid, but okay, that's what happened. That's what happened, and we always have to remember one very important thing, that even though that happened. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Chava, knew what happened, she could have said, I'm sorry. And that would have fixed the whole problem. She could have just said, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I should not have eaten that, Hashem. I'm sorry. But what did she say? No, it was the Nachash. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Adam, what did he say? As Isha, the wife that you gave me. Wow, he could have just said also, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Would have been fixed. So we always have to remember this idea that any time, Chas v'shalom, we realize if we do something wrong, just tell Hashem, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to do it. Help me that I don't do this again. I don't want to do this. That's it. Say I'm sorry. Again, but it's against our egos. How I made a mistake. Come on, I'm great. How can I make a mistake? But if we understand, really, that's what we're supposed to do. It can straighten out a lot of problems. So that's the whole idea. We make the bracha specifically on that fire. Via making the bracha on the fire, we clarify that it was HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'nichlal gam ha'eish shu b'chinas hateva b'kedusha. So then, like you were saying, Dovid, you take the eish, and now you infuse it, you include it in the kedushas Hakadosh Baruch and on the side of Hashgacha. You say it's not b'koyach of ha'etzim yadi yasal yasachol. No, this is you, Hashem. Hashem is halakeinu melech olam b'irei marech. It's the kedusha. Ki be'emes gam hateva hu Hashgacha, because in truth of truths, all teva, the same way you light a fire, and you think that it's HaKadosh, you think that you lit the fire, but really it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They gave you the koyach, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes the thing light up. What did you do? What can I do if you think about it? This thing, I rub the two sticks together, it gets hot and it lights up. Why does it do that? Because Hashem wants it to do that. Right? Hashem wants it to do that. That's why it does it. Ki be'emes gam hateva hu hashgacha. Wow, that's amazing. This line is fascinating. Ki be'emes gam hateva hu hashgacha. Because really, the truth of truths is that Teva is really Hashgacha. Ki Hashem Yisbarach ba'atzmai maniges hateva. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in control of all nature, of all things that happen. Ki ritzayna Yisbarach, exactly the way Hashem wants it to happen. Ukishemaminim. But when we can believe, and we know we have that das, shekol shahakol b'hashgacha v'gam hateva hu hashgacha. That's the greatest understanding. That no matter what's going on in the world, I realize it's really all hashgacha. Azai nichlal gam ha'eish b'kedusha. Then I could really place the eish. That eish, that was the first thing that man did, that Adam Arishan did, that Teva took claim to. I could take the claim that they and place that same thing back to the side of kedusha. And that's what we have to remember. That's the bracha shemavorchem b'motzei Shabbos b'shas Havdalah. Specifically, we make that bracha. Shemaminim shakol me'Hashem Yisbarach v'gam ha'eish b'chinas hateva. And even the fire, that's Teva. Bora gam came Hashem Yisbarach ba'atzma. He created it himself. Ki gam ha'teva hu hashgacha, because Teva is hashgacha. I mean, this is really what we have to understand. That there's no such a thing as Teva. That Teva is really Hashem. V'azai nichlal hakol b'kedusha. And then we can put everything in life. We can bring everything to kedusha. Same way we could take the fire. By making the bracha, we could take everything in life, every aspect of life, we can bring it back to kedusha when we attribute it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we don't attribute it to governments, to this, to that, to doctors, and all whatever it is. Okay.
Teva is Hashgacha Klalit.
Yeah. Yes.
For everybody, for everything. That the system is set up just like at the big organization. The head guy. He's in charge of everything, but he doesn't watch specifically the lowest, whatever.
But that's what the world says. The world says that Hashem is up there in Shemayim. He takes care of the big thing, but the little things he's not involved with.
No, he's involved, but not like.
No. That's what the goyim say. They say, yeah, there's Hashem, and he's up in Shemayim. He's busy over there with taking care of the things. He doesn't know what I'm doing down over here. He has no idea. Nonsense. That's nonsense, right? But we're saying here that really everything of Teva, every little ant and every little leaf and everything in the world, everything is really run exactly the way Hashem wants it to be.
So what would be the difference between Hashgacha Klalit and Hashgacha Pratit?
Oh, okay. So there's an idea like this of that the world says that there is an idea that animals and different things is klalit and people is more pratit. Okay, there's an idea like that. Okay, there is an idea like that. But really, we're saying here the truth. The truth is, it really is HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
No, everything is a Kodesh Baruch Hu, but I'm just trying to understand like what's.
Look, I'll give you an example. Avram Fried has a beautiful song that he sings in Yiddish, right? He gives this beautiful. There's a beautiful song that he sings in Yiddish that there's a tzaddik that's riding on a horse, right? And he's riding on the most beautiful path. It's the most beautiful pathway. And everything is pristine, and everything is great, everything is amazing. And as he's riding his horse, he sees there's a leaf on the ground. That's how everything was so pristine. Everything was perfect. And there was a leaf on the ground. So he gets off his horse, and he goes over to the leaf, and he asks the leaf, "Hey, leaf, why are you on the ground here?" So the leaf says to him, "What do you mean, why are you asking me?" Ask the tree. I was on the tree. I don't know why I'm over here. He asked the tree. So he goes to the tree and he asks the tree. The tree says, "Well, I have no idea. I have no idea why Hashem sent the wind. A wind came and it blew me. So then the leaf fell off. So ask the wind." No, he asked the wind. "Wind, why'd you blow the tree so that the leaf should fall off?" And then he says, the wind says, "Well, it's not me. It was the Malach that sent me to blow." So he asked the Malach. The Malach says, "I don't know. You have to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because really HaKadosh Baruch Hu is he told me to do this, and that's why I send the wind, and the wind blew the tree, and the leaf fell down." So yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what's the situation? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, if you take a look underneath the leaf, there's a little worm, and the little tiny little worm was cold, and he couldn't sleep. So I saw that the worm was pained. So that's why I sent the malach, I sent the wind, I sent the blow the tree, and did this to put the leaf right on top of the what do you call it, the worm, so that way he would be protected, and he'll be able to relax. So here you see from that even a little worm is really HaKadosh Baruch Hu is involved in every nuance of everything in the world, every nuance. So yes, you could say that this klalit, but really the klalit is really Hashem. Okay, so really that's what we're saying here. The truth is that there's no such a thing as Teva. Teva is really HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You heard that before, right? You heard that story?
I mean, maybe I heard that somewhere. I didn't understand the words.
Und der kleine Wärmel hat Lies eingeschlafen sich.
Beautiful story.
We'll play it after. I'll play it. Okay. That's the idea of tikkun ha'etz. Adas Teva, to make the tikkun. And again, and like we said, the whole idea is just to always do tshuva and we return back to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Vazai ayedei zeh daikehem noiflim bechinas me'a'ish sheyotzu me'a'ish toichlem. That's what we said. Ki yikra achizosam bechinas eish, because their whole achiza of the chachmas hateva is on eish, not ar, eish. Bechinas hateva, shenizgale shegam ha'eish bechinas hateva. They reveal that the eish is teva. Hu me Hashem yizbarach v'ayidei zeh ba'atzmo hu nichnoim, and that's how we can subdue them and we can put them in their place. And that's why we need to use a fire specifically. We make a big bonfire and we burn the chametz in the eish, because we want to show that fire is really Hashem. And the same way they have their fire, I'm going to use my fire. You're going to fight fire with fire. You ever have an expression like that? You have to fight fire with fire? You ever hear that before?
Yeah.
Fight fire with fire. So that's what I'm doing. I'm fighting their fire, the fire of Teva, the fire of Chochmas HaTeva, the Oivdei Kechava. I'm fighting them. So what I do, I take a fire and I burn I burn out the chametz with that. Zeh oz niskala hashkochas Hashem. That shows out the great hashkocha of Hashem. V'oz yoidim shakol mi'itay yizbarach. And then we all will know, and we all should know, especially sitting in the Sukkah, the Tzeilah de Menusa. Right, we're sitting in the beautiful sukkah to recognize that it's really all Hashem. Right, we're sitting in. Right, we know that the whole din of the sukkah has to be 2 walls and a tefach. Right, that's the din. Right, it has to be 2 walls and a tefach. Right, why 2 walls and a tefach? Because you need the same way like you have an arm. Right, so you have your arm. So this part of the arm and this part, then you have the little hand. So the same way, that's a chibuk. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us a hug. when we're in the sukkah. That's the main thing that we're getting. We're being hugged, mamish, by the Rebbeinu Shalom when we sit in the sukkah.
Rabbi Nachman says that?
Yeah, that's a
never heard
famous
that before.
thing. That's a famous thing. Yeah. I mean that the
The
chapkeni.
sukkahs.
You like that,
I
right?
love it.
Give him a hug. Giving you a hug all the time.
You get a hug from the Rebbeinu Shalom.
Telling you how much he loves
That's
you.
like two walls and a tefach. Okay, that was just another little cute thing. Okay, now, but it's
Well,
deep.
Look at our shul Shirat Dovid. It's 2 hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hands. Yeah, it's Teva.
Yeah.
Megaysim et Teva as well. Not only the chesed, also
Beautiful.
midat
Look how
hadin
beautiful.
together.
Look how beautiful our sukkah. Beautiful.
Big hug, you know.
V'azai hachometz bechinas hachokmas hateva, and the chometz, which is chokmas hateva, bechinas achizas oivdei chachavim, which they have their their rule on it. Nichna, we can subdue them in this battle. We can nullify them. Ayadei shor sheidaika. So we don't want to get them. We want to get them at the shirish. We want to nip it in the bud with the shirish. We don't want to get them with something else. You know, like when you have a rodent problem. So you can put something out here, but you have to find out where the problem is and do rodent proofing so that they don't come back. You got to get it right at the problem. You have to get it right at the problem. So where did the problem begin? With Aish. The problem began with Aish. So therefore, again, we burn the chametz with the Aish. When we want to get rid of them, we use that. Hainu ayedei Aish ki mei ha'Aish yotzu or mei Aish toichlem, from the fire. They went out. We're gonna fire. We're gonna eat them up. We're gonna destroy them. And with that, in Mitzvah Hashem, I wish everyone a gewaldige moadim l'simcha and a good chayt and everything should be good.
Amen.